Now I just want to take you through. I won't need the overhead for this. Have a seat, Colin. I'm going to talk about you, so you should be sitting down for this. So this is the final look of it all. You'll notice when you open your copy of the book that it's dedicated to my father. There you go, Terry Burke. And the reason for that, you're not going to like this. Don't forget, this is a book of nonsense, right? And the reason it's dedicated to my father is that one of the poems, one of the rhymes that I used to repeat a lot, and which I've taught this to maybe over 100 students, including some at Communicare. So if you mention the first line of this to, say, Mason, he'll rattle off a few more lines. I have to remember which sound it's under. There we go. Is Sea Fever by John Masefield. Sea Fever is a poem written about 1900 by John Masefield, who was an English poet, and it was taught in English and Australian, of course, schools for many, many decades, and probably in the school that my father went to. Because when I was young, my father would often, especially when we were near the coast, say wistfully, "I must go down to the seas again, to the lonely sea and the sky, and all I ask is a tall ship and a star to steer her by." And then he'd stop because he didn't know anymore. And I always thought that was it. You know, as a kid, I always thought that was it. Because he'd say it a lot, and you stop there. And it was quite interesting to me to find out that there was a lot more to that poem. And I learned it all, and I taught it to my students, and I didn't stop there. But the great thing that my father taught us, of course, is that repetition is part of learning, you know. Mum likes that. I thought you'd go happy because obviously Mum read to me a lot more than Dad did when I was young. But
don't worry, I remember that poem too.
But it's dedicated to Dad because Dad is the personification of just dreadful repetition. And that was the height of it. The contents, we have consonant sounds first because they're easier, just because they're easier. Then the vowel sounds, consonant blends. Silent letters get a Guernsey here. Why not? And some common words at the end, which I thought students should get exposure to. So 5 sections, and on the back of the contents page, links to my website and the videos and the sound files and various other things. And then there's one page. I limited myself to 1 page of introduction, very proud. I'm just going to read the last paragraph of it. You can read it for yourselves later. Pronunciation is fun. The intention is that this work will be used in a way that is social, experiential, collaborative, rhythmic and enjoyable, with an attitude to error that is playful and constructive. Some lessons will hopefully dissolve into fits of laughter. There is a place for that in every class. So when you're teaching what is basically nonsense, quite often you end up just killing yourselves laughing. And it's a really great thing when that happens in a class and no one's laughing at a particular person, everyone's laughing together. That was sort of highlighted for me in the prison when I was teaching there, and I had the predecessor of this book, and we all had one, and we were going around, and eventually pretty much every lesson would dissolve into laughter, and the reason for that there was they really needed a laugh. Yeah, they were in a place where if they laughed like that outside of the classroom, it might not have been so good, but inside the classroom was a safe space and they loved it. Yeah? So much so that they nicked the book off each other. On the back of that page, a dedication to Colin. To fellow mid-tenor Colin Beasley, who generously cast his learned eye over the text and improved it no end. So there's a lesson there too. So I've got a couple of lessons. One is always get more than one printer. And the other lesson is always find someone who knows more than you to check your work. Thank you, Colin. And thereafter, it basically looks like this. So the content is there. There's quite a bit of me in it because I was filling in gaps and also because I like my work. Some of that might disappear over time as we find things to replace it with. But what you'll find is it's not in alphabetical order in the main. Like sounds are placed next to like sounds. so that you're dealing with that, distinguishing those sounds as you're going through, if you do go through straight. We've got our QR code down there, which you can scan with your phone now, and it actually works. And the links there as well. So have fun with that. And yeah, I want to sell 1 million of these. And I've arranged the price so that I make about $1 when I sell one. So the idea is, if I want to be a millionaire selling this book, I need to sell 1 million copies, and that suits me just fine. Thank you all for coming tonight.
Thank you.